the maze, the orange wool factory, and the dame at the boba bar. All three of those things were directly on the tip of my mind as the earth-quaking rumble interrupted our chance encounter. So I did the only thing that was the right thing to do. I looked at her deeply between the eye and told her, "I'll check out what happened. You stay here where it's safe. If there's any trouble, here's my number." I passed her a piece of paper. Written on it was the number 13. In times of stress and uncertainty, it had always been there for me. And now, it was there for her. I began to walk away, but then I stopped, and I turned back around, and I returned to the bar. I leaned over the edge and called out to the bartender, and that's when I said, "Everything she's ordered and continues to order, it's on me. She drinks for free tonight." And put my tab on Melty's tab. The bartender said nothing in response. He also said nothing as I went for the door. But he didn't need to. He was the mayor. We'd been through a lot together in Project Aussie, and we both knew what needed to be done. He needed to give the dame what she wanted, and he needed to give it to her for free. And myself, I needed to investigate the source of the sound and the source of the rumbling in order to find out if they were the same thing or if they were two entirely separate things altogether entirely. There was now only one question on my mind. What was the sound of the rumbling, and what caused the rumbling to happen? Were they the same things, or by coincidence alone did they occur at the same time? And what was the dame's name back at the bar, and will she still be there by the time I get back? And if not, will I ever get to see her again? And if so, will we still have the same chemistry? I didn't know, but I was gonna find out. Walking through TinkerTown, everything still seemed to be perfectly intact. Nothing broken, and nothing disturbed from the rumbling that had just occurred moments before. We made our way down to the lower levels, hoping to see that nothing down here had changed either. Milk Machine and its girlfriend still seemed perfectly safe and content within their cave. Melty's farms were left undisturbed, not a stone or even a plant overturned, but still the mystery clung to the air, like cheap shampoo on a hairdryer. But there was one other place I hadn't looked yet, and one place I was worried to see any problems that might have come up. At the base of the mountain, and at the outskirts of TinkerTop, laid the frameworks of a whole new business venture we'd been starting. For weeks we'd been farming trees, collecting tons of wood and other various resources, with the goal in mind of building the perfect wood shop. Everything had been laid out. Everything was ready to go. It seemed like everything was fine, until I realized it wasn't. A section in the back, just overlooking the ocean's waters, had collapsed. Was this the cause of the rumble, or was it the result of the rumble? I didn't know. But stepping down inside, I found something mysterious. Something I'd never yet laid my eyes on, nor even knew what it was. A cave shaft, with strange molten red lanterns hanging from above. As I approached, the phantoms began to swarm. Far too many for me to handle on my own. I had no choice but to enter this mysterious mine shaft. Metal beams held together the entirety of the shaft. I'd never seen anything like them. And down below, light could be seen peeking through what appeared to be another way we could go. Carefully, I climbed down the mine shaft, and reaching the bottom, I spotted something I had no idea how to explain. Someone had been here long ago and built this place, and by the looks of it, somebody else had come by after to build more things to support it. Gears and shafts, intertwined, spinning, sending mechanical power out in all sorts of different directions. But to where, I didn't know. And from where, there appeared to be no source to this power, as if the gears themselves were spinning out of their own free will. Who had built this? And for what purpose? And why was it revealed to me just now? When I began building the structure above, the location just felt right. Was it tied to this? Was there some sort of connection between that feeling and the structure that now exists here beneath the ground? And why is it that every time I find something new, all I receive are questions, and nothing seems to give me any answers? I ate my bread in silence. I had no idea if this was connected with the animals and the orange wool, because quite frankly, within this location, there were no animals, and there was no orange wool. All there was mystery, and lots of it. But I'd had enough of no answers, and tonight, we were getting some. Every night for the last few nights, I'd been camping out at the top of the tree where I'd parked my van, in order to keep an eye out on what was happening at that place with all of the orange wool. Who owned the orange wool? And what did the orange wool have to do with all of the signs? And what about the books that were left by the signs and one of them that referenced the orange wool? What was going on? Every night, I sat here and watched, waiting to see if I would get some sort of clue. But there was nothing. That was until there was something. And that something occurred on the fourth night. And that's when I saw him once again. My arch rival and nemesis, Sigma SP. I hadn't seen him for so long, yet here now he was, in the middle of the forest, beside a bunch of orange wool. And not only that, he seemed to be farming it, building it, collecting it. For what reason? I didn't know. But the most concerning thing of all, there was some sort of strange device that he had moved around and placed onto the top of his farming contraption. I watched him as he climbed and clambered all over everything. But something seemed off. His size was different. He was much smaller, possibly even half the size he was before. Was this due to his DNA experiments? Did something backfire and change? Or was it done on purpose? I didn't know. But all I did know was there he was, a bunch of distance away, but right in front of me. But if he'd been here all this time, why hadn't he come to see me? Why was he keeping his distance? Or did he even know that I was here? And if he did know I was here, was he the one placing those signs? Did he leave the animals? Is he the one that stole the axolotl? And if so, what was the reasoning for it? He had all this power. He didn't need to pull these tricks. Was this just a game for fun? Was he just playing around and messing with me? Did he just see me as some sort of minuscule ant that wasn't worth his actual time except for as a plaything? Or was he not related to it at all? And did he have no idea that any of that was even happening? Or did he maybe know who was doing it? And if so, why didn't he tell me? Or did he get involved in it? So even though he wasn't the one that started it, he's now the one that's helping to continue it. All I had were hundreds of questions, but I didn't have time to think about them because he was on the move, and I wasn't sure if he was on the way here. So I did what any great detective would do. I leapt off the top of the tree that I parked my van on, and I got the heck out of there. I couldn't risk being caught, or worse, suspected.